anticipate the sister being a very lengthy witness, so maybe somewhere between 9:30 and 10.
Well, I mean, starting with, if doable, starting with her at 9, we know that we're going to start. Now, you go to other witnesses, and now it becomes vague, and if she's ready, we're not ready, you saw what happened. Now, is there any way that she can testify this afternoon? And of course, maybe part of the answer is her testimony is lengthy.
It's lengthy.
It is?
Yes.
So more than an hour?
Yes.
Okay. And teams get finicky sometimes when we have long hearings. Hopefully not. Okay. That's my suggestion. I'm not telling you when to call a witness. It's up to you. But we need to be aware that when she's ready, we may not be ready for her. So the safest, if it can be done, depending her sleep, schedule, work schedule, the safest thing is to start with her, but that's your call.
Yeah, if I can say it as simply as I can. Our secretary, we found out when we got back from lunch that Mr. Moore, had other things to do, so we are, initiated contacting IT in Polk County to get this set up. We're in court, so we have no way to monitor that, make phone calls, see that it's being done. Our secretary's working on it. If it's worked out that they have it all figured out by 9 o'clock tomorrow, that's what we would exactly do.
And that would, as far as the information that you have, that would be fine with her work hours, sleeping hours, and okay.
Yes.
Hold that thought. We'll come back to it before we resume. I'll let you know about my investigation.
Right, and if there are problems, we're planning on having backups available and ready to go as well. So
Say that again?
we're planning on having other witnesses
Sure,
here.
yeah.
So
Good. All right. Let me look into it, and we'll go from there. Yes, sir. All right, we'll be in recess for 15 minutes.
Okay, so as you can see, just what we were talking about, the judge wants to get an idea of where the defense is in its case. Andre Warner's sister expected to give testimony. That will be very big tomorrow. And there you see him. And he probably has on an ankle shackle there because it looks like he's limping. But my guess is his ankles are probably shackled, even though we couldn't see the full body shot. But he's being followed by the guards out for about 15 minutes. And then the jury will be brought back in to hear some more testimony from this psychologist talking about lots with Andre Warner. I mean, there was a lot of time spent on his curriculum vitae, and then it went into Andre Warner's ADHD and all sorts of other things. And from what we hear, the jurors are having trouble paying attention. Let me bring in somebody who's in the know on that. We have with us Court TV crime and justice reporter Joy Lim Nakrin standing by in Polk County at the courthouse. Joy, good to see you again. Tell us about what you saw with the members of the jury, because we could see some folks in the gallery who looked like they were having trouble keeping their eyes open. What did you see that we couldn't see?
Yeah, Julie, we actually saw some jurors appear to nod off during that long testimony by that defense expert, that psychologist. And if you remember yesterday afternoon, we also saw a juror nod off during the testimony of that firearms expert for the defense, Michael Knox. So these certainly aren't good things for the defense. Of course, they want the jury to be engaged, but it appears that's not the case right now.
Right. It is never a good sign if jurors are falling asleep. And I'm surprised that somebody on the defense team didn't stop sooner and ask his honor. I mean, this is a great judge. I mean, he is just so kind with the parties and very respectful and considerate of everybody. You would think somebody might say, uh-oh, they're snoozing. It's time for a break. Get them out of there. I mean, many of us watching here kept thinking, like, how are they doing? We saw Adam Hilaire's mother, that woman, that sweet woman who has been through so much, and she looked like she was struggling to keep her eyes open. A few times it looked like she was starting, to close her eyes and then would wake herself up just to get through this. And really, at the end of the day, what did the jury really glean from this guy so far, Joy? I mean, I walked away feeling like, okay, so he's got ADHD. That's very common. What else? A low IQ. Again, that's common. What do you think the jury really was supposed to take home from this?
You're right. ADHD, low IQ, bipolar depression. We also heard, a bit about his childhood from his mother earlier in the day. But overall, I mean, these are points that could have been made in a more concise manner, I would argue, and probably the jurors are wondering the same thing that you are, Julie. What are we supposed to be taking out of this? And does it really take this long to make the point that this defendant has these other psychological issues underlying everything?
Right. You know, and I'm sure you've seen this happen, Joy, in criminal trials you've covered when you have an expert and they all have these impressive CVs. They might be really thick. And sometimes, you know, it can be as easy as, you know, Dr. So-and-so, this is your curriculum vitae I have in my hand, right? And it's really impressive, right? It contains all of your schooling and qualifications and publications and expert testimony. And all of this is right here in this document. Yes. And then you move to admit it. And then it's in. And then the jury can thumb through it and see how much time he spent in school. But for me, I felt like this lawyer's advocacy, you know, and it's all really, you have to take it witness by witness, case by case, but I thought he really lost a lot of steam by going through that lengthy CV and then getting to the sum and substance of Andre Warner's mental health. Did you feel that way? Did you feel like he was really belaboring a lot of this guy's qualifications?
Yes, and you know, he went to great lengths to also, it seemed like, establish that this witness is not necessarily, you know, a defense type witness, and you know, he established the fact that this witness has testified for both the state and defendants in various cases, and I understand the importance of that. But you know, at what cost? You know, when proving that, when laying that out for the jury, what is the cost there? If jurors are now falling asleep on the back end when he's getting to the important part of the testimony beyond the background, that's certainly not something that you would imagine the defense would want. And we also have to remember that this has been an emotionally draining trial, not just for the participants and the families, but for the jurors, because at times we see a lot of emotion. Certainly the victim's impact statements yesterday, you know, we saw one juror who was struggling to hold back tears. And then this morning, when the mother of the defendant was on the stand, the jurors seemed very engaged. So to ask them to keep focus day in and day out for these very long days in court, they're going to have very compelling witnesses on the stand. And not to say that this witness was not, but the way that the whole questioning was done, you know, perhaps was not as engaging as it could have been.
Exactly. You said it so well, Joy. I was saying to our producer off air as we were watching that there's nothing wrong with this psychologist's testimony. It's the way that it's being set up and the questions are being fashioned, and it really lost a lot of steam. And it's a shame because they might have been put to sleep before they were getting to the things that were really, really meant for them to hear and know and understand. So we'll see what happens if they come back in, they're refreshed. I know we need to let you go so you can get in the courtroom. Joy Lim Nakran, thank you so much.